Now hear this. You're listening to charlietrix, remise, and jhanboom.
Can you dig it?
Oh, back in it.
Right back at it.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
Yes, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is the Fans Perspective. I am your host, charlietrix, and I'm here with my man. Actually, not my brother today. Remise's out, but we got my man.
It's your boy jhanboom filling in. What's going on?
John Busy Boom. I think we're playing back and forth. Last week we didn't have jhanboom. This week we don't have Remise, but you know I'm here to hold it down. Either way, Johnny, how you feeling, man? We happy to have you back this week.
Yo, thank you for having me back, man. Shout out to my people. Shout out to YouTube, social media. I was popping back in the streets Saturday.
It is a beautiful Saturday, April 22nd.
Pow.
And man, we got a lot on the episode today. We got a couple stories. I don't like to do sad stories, but there was a couple things in the news this week that we just have to reference and talk about a little bit. We're gonna throw that in the story.
Gotta touch it.
I know you got a throwback that you got to talk about.
Yes, bringing it forward.
Johnny's got some good local news on deck for today. But you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, we could jump right in. You know what I'm saying?
Before we do that, let's go with something current. Shout out to the New York Knicks who won last night.
Big dub.
Remise was at the game. That's why he's not here today. Though I'm sure they were partying like crazy because everybody, the New York streets were celebrating and going ham.
That's right. Yo, New York is looking good, man. Knickerbocker basketball. Shout out to Patrick Ewing, John Starks. They was out there as well. Nah, I don't know, but you know, those are people that those. When I think about Knicks, I know the old school players from front to back, man. Yeah, the big rivals against the Chicago Bulls. But shout out to the Knicks winning their first playoff game for sure.
And speaking of New York, I feel like all the New York teams made it this year. You got the Rangers, you got the Knicks, the Islanders were in there. The New York teams are looking sexy right now.
Yeah, man. Little championship were hurt though. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Little championship.
You know what I'm saying? Little whipped cream on top.
No, that is for sure. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So to kick this off today, I wanted to talk a little bit about this Fox News settlement and case that's been going on. So most people, you guys listening probably know this, but Fox News had harped on for so long about how the election was stolen. Dominion voting machines were hacked. They were part of the scandal. They had all this craziness.
Crazy.
And you know, there was just never any evidence to back any of that up.
Word.
It was constantly just getting, you know, kicked out of courtrooms when they brought it up anywhere else. But specifically, this case was Dominion suing Fox News for all of that nonsense, damages. It was a $1 billion lawsuit, or over $1 billion. I forget. It was like probably like a couple billion. I forget the exact number. But this week, Fox News and Dominion settled the case. And they settled that case for $787 million.
Damn.
And that's a shitload of money for anybody.
Hell yeah.
Dominion, they took the settlement. Good for them, because it's probably a good business move. This is a company at the end of the day. But it kind of sucks for everyone else who was watching the case, because I think we all wanted to see just how bad Fox News was spreading that bullshit and have that plastered, all over media so that people can see, because a lot of people still are not convinced, and they listen to Fox and they listen to Tucker Carlson.
Shit, they be talking crazy.
But man, we wish we could have saw a little more. But anyway, so this week they settled out of court, and there was a couple things I wanted to say about that settlement.
For sure. Fox News, you son of a bitches.
So this information that I'm reading here is out of The Lever. First of all, The Lever is one of the few news organizations that still does amazing investigative work. Their articles are just awesome. Their journalism is amazing. But here's a couple things. So that Fox News settlement for $787 million is now going to be used, according to them, as a tax write-off.
Oh, okay.
And the Lever did their own investigating into this, and they confirmed, yeah, they actually are going to get a huge tax break to the tune of about $213 million is what they estimate that
Big
they'll
money.
be able to write off. So they settled out for $787, and they're going to take a huge chunk of that as a tax write-off. And just here's a quick note on it from the article. It says, thanks to an arcane line in the tax code, Fox can deduct that settlement payment from its income taxes, according to the company spokesperson. Basically, it's considered an ordinary and necessary business expense. The IRS just goes with that, and they stick
Word.
by that as well. And
As long as they get their money, right? So
that's the case. And the way they break it down in this article is that, the taxes are supposed to be taxed on profits made.
gotcha.
And by settling or having this case and these type of settlements, they reduce the profits because they got to pay out this huge chunk of money.
Word.
So when you look at it from that angle, it is like, yeah, so they are getting a tax break on that. And it's kind of unfortunate. It's like it should hit like a sad story for some people who wanted to see. And it's not about punishing, individual people, although I feel like the people in that organization at Fox are just disgusting. But it's more about just having some accountability, because it's one thing to push bullshit news.
Word.
It's another thing to push it to the extent that they did when it turns into a fucking insurrection on the Capitol, people rioting. You saw that.
Yeah, that shit turns into an escalation crazy.
Yeah, and then just they just never let it die. And comes out that they knew it was bullshit the whole time and they were just doing it on purpose. So that whole thing, man,
So is Fox News a clout chaser, man? And essentially, right?
Yeah.
20% accurate.
Fox News,
80% inaccurate.
Accuracy is not part of their business plan. Not even remotely close. They're happy to sling whatever bullshit to their specific audience. And the sad part about it is they have no respect for their audience. And when you listen to the way they talk behind the scenes, they talk about their own audience like they're doing news for morons.
Word.
So anyway, to people who do listen to Fox or watch Fox or whatever, I have no hate or animosity towards you or these people, but there is a certain point where you gotta kind of look at what you're consuming and understand that the least, like watching that station is like watching just pure fiction.
Word.
The other stations are not much better, so don't think this is some kind of plug for CNN. I can't stand them. I don't watch mainstream media. I do here and there to get information on certain stories that we're covering, but for the most part, I have my own independent journalists that I go to for information.
Word. And I keep it local with Channel 12. Ain't Channel 12, I ain't doing it. That's all I need to know what's going on. You feel me?
The local news.
The local news is what affects me. Every time I go on Fox 5, I always, like the time they Joe Biden, the way he rambles, sometimes it's just ridiculous. They said that he said, like gays and gentlemen, or gays and ladies, but the way Joe Biden speaks, he was really saying gentlemen, and they kind of ran with that story like a motherfucker too.
Yeah. Well, we've seen, I think, the worst of the worst come out of that damn organization. But
stop it.
I will say, just going back over for the 12th time that I've said it, but to settle out for such a large sum of money, but then also be able to turn around and write that off, avoid the public scrutiny of the case, it's a little bit of a not so happy ending.
Word.
But hey, good on Dominion. They got their bread.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Get your bread.
Speaking of local news, Johnny, let's bring it back around to something local, because we got a lot of locals that we know that listening to the show. So.
Yeah, man. So, your boy jhanboom's back with some local news. Now, this is local news, and it's also kind of like barbershop news. You know, if you go to the barbershop, shout out to all the local barbers. Shout out to my barbershop in Passaic Oasis. You know, there's always a story in there. There's always something funny, something that happened. So last week, I'm at the barbershop getting my fresh shape up, you know, for the streets. And my barber is telling me a story. So my barbershop across the street from it is a Walgreens. One of the barbers goes into Walgreens, getting a couple supplies. There is a Walgreens worker that's there. He happened to be, you know, homosexual male, and sees the barber. Now, as jokingly, they say, hey, he does have a big rear, the barber that cuts in my shop. So the homosexual male that works at Walgreens, he's stacking up his house, sees my man online, starts talking to him, you know, whispering and shit in his ear. So my man's like, hey, you know, trying to be the polite thing to do and say, hey, you know, I'm good. Then it escalates when my man grabs his ass.
Took a ass grab.
My man.
Wait, in public?
In public.
In Walmart.
Walgreens.
In Walgreens.
Walgreens. He's online waiting to pay for his items. Walgreens worker is working the aisle, stacking.
Now, I'm going to just say this because you said it, but your man got a padunky.
Yeah, he does. He does. He does. Hey, no homo. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a barbershop news. It's funny as hell. My man got a big ass. Homosexual worker at Walgreens saw it.
And he wanted some of that
and
ass.
He wanted it, and he did, and he grabbed his ass.
He did a full grope of dope, huh?
Full grope of dope. Which escalated. So good thing about the barber, he didn't get into a physical altercation, but he got into a verbal altercation that led to the worker's manager getting involved. When the manager came in, explained the situation, he did it, and exactly that. He did it in a public place with cameras. They ran the footage back. They clearly see my man coming out of the aisle and do a firm grab on the rear.
Did he get a whole chunk in?
He got a whole cheek. He got a whole cheek.
Oh, my God. He got the whole cheek.
He cuffed it underneath, which... Again, homosexual or regular groping someone in public, unless it's with their permission, it's just a significant other. Don't do it, man.
Listen, do not grope people, man. That's not cool. And then listen, I will say this. Maybe that's something to think about for what women have to go through when you get these aggressive dudes harassing them all the time.
Exactly.
But on the flip side, there are sometimes you see a gay man or two around, and they're a little bit frisky and get a little friendly themselves.
Right
on. Gay or straight, you do not have permission to grab a handful of ass, fat or flat. You
know what I'm saying? Especially a heterosexual male that has no intention of being in that type of field. So unfortunately, my man from Walgreens says it was clear as day. Unfortunately, he got fired. But at the end of the day, it's a terrible thing to grab anybody, man. If he grabbed my ass in public, I would have grabbed his ass back, but in a more aggressive way to let him know that I ain't messing around. You know, cup and turn. All right, vamos, get that cup and slow, then turn. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you got to grab someone's ass.
That reminds me of that old game. Bop it, pull it, twist it. Yo, that's crazy though. So, but ultimately, okay, we joking around about this because you know how we do. But let's say on a serious note, how is your man doing? Because this is what people don't see, is the aftermath. Now he's got to go back into the barbershop. He's got to explain that he's been sexually assaulted.
Yes.
How is his psyche? Is he there mentally? Is he getting help?
He relocated.
He relocated?
He relocated.
Wow. This is a big deal.
It's a big deal. Instead of working in Passaic, now he got a barbershop in Garfield he works in. He said, you know what? I can't have the shame every time I walk in here, someone bring up that story again. Got to relocate to Garfield.
Damn, you see, people, this is what happens. You can't just assault people and grab ass.
He's mentally fucked up from it, man. You know what I'm saying? How can he go back to his boys with this? And the thing is, when I walked into the barbershop that day, the story was already going. So I hear people laughing. So I'm like, yo, what y'all talking about? That's when my barber reiterated the story. I thought it was hilarious. Honestly, I thought it was fictional because how many times a day do you hear a story like this? Another man grabbing another man's ass, and this shit completely escalated. It's him getting fired, barber relocating. Shit's all fucked up, man. So no groping, no touching.
Damn, man. Well, you know what, man? Like I said, though, it is kind of tough, and I think that we can kind of flip that story around, and also, like I said, for women out there, because you got to think about it. Like, he went through that situation. I'm sure he doesn't have to deal with that every day,
Right.
and it obviously had an impact on him mentally, and it affected him in some way, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. It
100%
wasn't just
positive.
like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, what the fuck?
And we have women who walk around and deal with that on a daily basis.
For sure.
And, I never really thought of it on the mental side of it. But now that you say that, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm like relating in my head, I'm like, damn. And women have to deal with this shit on a daily basis too. That's horrendous.
But then another part of the story that I was thinking about, because I've heard this situation completely escalated, but in this case, which I think the answer is no, to where you can't just throw in your LGBTQ card like, hey, I'm just doing my thing, as a homosexual male, pronouns and shit situation. You can't do that. It just doesn't work out.
The LGBTQ card is not I get to do whatever the fuck I want card.
Exactly.
With anybody I
Not
want.
a fucking diplomat.
Yes. You don't have diplomatic immunity. Well, you know what, though? In that case, though, that could have been an uglier situation.
Yeah.
Imagine he, swung at the guy.
Right,
touched
right.
him, and then it was a physical thing. And then there's this assault case, and that's part of it. And
Exactly. Someone getting hurt, just because you want to grab a little bit of ass. You feel me?
yeah,
It's
man.
not the way to go.
Yeah, there's all sorts of places you can go.
Yes.
And grab ass in New Jersey.
Put some in the comments. I'll let you know, man. Heterosexual, homosexual. I know everybody. Jhanboom the plug.
Man, listen, shout out to your boy, and I hope he's doing all right.
He wants to be in a barbershop that no one knows him now.
We won't give it. We're not going to say his new location.
Nah. For sure.
That is just a
What would you do, Vamanos? Did another man grabbed you by the rear like that?
he said, because I remember when Johnny was saying this the other day that he wanted to talk about this. He said he had a full cup.
Yeah, he went.
He had a cup of ass in his hand. That story could quickly turn around to like the gay guy's the victim, and this guy's just attacking. He's a homophobe.
Shit, man. Shout out to the cameras. The way it was explained, the cameras caught it like in a complete good angle. Like there was no fucking turnaround from it.
All right,
No pun intended.
You know what? Let's let that story rock right there.
Shit.
That's where it was.
Pow.
Bringing this story right back at you.
For sure.
We came across this really interesting story. It's a bit old, but
Whoa.
I hadn't heard it, and it popped back up. Now, this is a story about the assassination of Kim Jong-nam, okay? Half brother to the North Korean leader.
Ooh, okay.
And for the people watching at home, this was originally Remise's story, who he had all details broken down, which I don't have as well as he did. But I'm going to give you a quick outline of what happened.
Word.
Long story short, Kim Jong-nam was assassinated by these two young women.
Okay.
And how it all broke down when you read into the story is pretty nuts.
Damn.
So apparently this was all orchestrated by the North Korean government. And they've been wanting to murder this guy, or he was aware that his life was in danger for
Word.
a long time. The guy took all sorts of precautions when he traveled. He carried around a bag full of antidotes with him just in case.
Just in case.
It was some serious stuff going on, right? That's one piece of it. Now back to the two girls who actually pulled off the assassination.
Word.
Here is their story of why they're innocent and they didn't even know what they were doing. They got approached by a couple guys to do what they thought was going to be pranks on people.
Word.
They would run up to somebody in the mall, and one of them would wipe some stuff on their face, like lotion or something, and the other one would put a rag on their face, and then they would run away laughing.
Word.
And they actually did the prank, and they did it a few times. They did it like 3 or 4 times, and they pulled it off, and it all worked smooth. Mm-hmm. So they were already in set. They were making a few bucks for doing these little prank vids.
Word.
So Fast forward to the Kim Jong assassination. These two girls think they're about to go pull a prank, just another prank that they're doing.
Right.
This time, when they're given the stuff to wipe on their face, it's like some nerve agent, right? And they have no idea, according to them, what they were doing. So they're ready to roll up on the guy and pull their next prank. One of them splashes the stuff on the guy's face. The other one holds the rag on his face. And they both skirt off. They run off to the bathroom laughing.
What?
The dude panics and runs to one of the kiosks, asking for help, explaining what happened. Before you know it, he's collapsed. They got to get ambulances over. The dude died. He was assassinated. I actually have probably the name of
and
it.
That's Kim, and that's Kim Jong.
It's like his half brother.
That was assassinated. Is this so this happened like in the mall? Like some
No, this happened at the airport as he was coming out.
Got you.
And man.
So I'm guessing they gave them the target, or him,
They smeared on him a lethal nerve agent.
Oh shit.
And they thought it was just another prank for reality TV, and it wasn't. They got the dude. So a few things happened there. One is, if the North Korean government orchestrated this, it was pretty elaborate. That they got these two young ladies to trick them essentially into pulling off this assassination.
Word.
But it's just absolutely bonkers, because this guy was prepared in all sorts of way. And he probably saw these two young ladies approaching him and didn't really think twice about it.
Word.
I just feel like the whole thing is wild. And this story is much deeper. So next time we're on and Remy says got the whole thing to break down for you, we'll fill in all the details. Sorry for the people watching. I don't have it for you. But I wasn't expecting to cover this one. But just the overall outline of that story is just nuts.
Word. I'm wondering where did they get that shit from? Like the actual
the nerve agent.
The nerve agent.
There was apparently there's 4 guys there that were with them, kind of orchestrating it, and those guys worked with the Korean government.
Got you.
So this shit was mapped out, and they got this dude. So the chicks go to court, and they're facing the death penalty where they were. I don't know if it was Malaysia. I think I read Malaysia, but a journalist had gone over to do a deep dive on the story.
Right.
And the more he dug into it, the more their far-fetched story seemed more realistic, the more he kept digging in. And then lo and behold, it looks like this is what happened.
Wow.
That these girls were completely tricked into doing this. And in the end of it all, after the case, the girls got off. One got off, it was like no charge. And the other one, they reduced it to a dramatically lower charge, like involuntarily hurting someone or something like that. For the name of it. But again, we're gonna come back with Remy Say to give you the solid details.
That is crazy, man. Don't put no shit on my face anywhere.
I think it is nuts because, man, just think about the level that you have to go through. I guess if you really want someone dead that bad,
Yeah.
But they really went about it in a way that was like, we're just gonna make it look like these 2 girls just went out and assassinated this dude.
And just to go out like that, you know what I'm saying? No shots, no altercation, no vigilante shit, just a motherfucking towel over your face and you gone type shit.
That's the crazy part.
God
too, right?
damn, bro. Hell yeah, bro. That's super crazy.
No kind of wild, violent.
All this precaution he's taking, in order to avoid real assassination shit, and boom,
he got caught.
Got caught slipping, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why in real life I don't let nobody get too close to me, man. Before there was a 6 feet rule with COVID, I had a 3 foot rule with people, man. Don't get 3 feet or more close to me if I don't fucking know you, man.
Yo, that reminds me of my buddy Anthony. He's the same way. He got like a arm reach space limit.
Bro, you got to, man. You never know what people want to do. Look at my man. He got his ass grabbed. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. You get assaulted.
It could have been a nerve agent.
On
the
could
ass.
have been. He could have had gloves on, make his ass numb or some shit.
Yeah.
Fucked up, bro.
Boy, anyway, we're gonna come back next session and fill in some gaps on that story. But If you get a chance, look it up. The links are everywhere. There's a million places covering it. You can even find a Wikipedia about it at this point. But it's a crazy story. Assassination of Kim Jong-nam. I recommend it.
God damn.
You know what?
You're listening to TFP, the fan's perspective.
Let's bring it back to
to a classic that just a classic story. Well, not a classic story. I did this story a couple months ago. It was concerning pigeons that were smuggling drugs in and out of prisons. So in British Columbia a couple months ago, I brought you a story of a pigeon that got caught with a little backpack full of crystal meth, and the guards chased him around and shit. And finally, they caught the pigeon. They caught the backpack with crystal meth. Now, that pigeon, I don't know if he's in jail. I don't know if they deep fried him. But there's another pigeon that was caught just recently. And let me just read a little bit of this article that I came across here. So, a second pigeon wearing a tiny makeshift backpack, presumably meant for smuggling drugs, has been found at the correction facility in Abbotsford, British Columbia, nearly 2 months to the day after a bird carrying a package of crystal meth was found at the prison next door. Officers discovered the latest bird wearing its backpack inside Matskew Institution during a routine search on the morning of February 27th of this year. According to its union, the backpack, possibly made from cut-up jeans, probably Levi's got durable material, was empty, leading guards to believe the bird might have still been in training. It was actually inside the institution where they actually found the pigeon again, wearing a small fabric-like backpack, says John Randall, Pacific Regional President of the Union for Canadian Correctional Officers. So the pigeons are words in the cartel right now, man. They out there smuggling shit, but I think this pigeon, they gave us some training, send them out empty-handed, see if he get caught, and they did catch him. So I think the next, because this pigeon story I don't think is going to end anytime soon. I think the third round is going to be.
So this is pretty crazy, because this is what, like the third time we were hearing?
Yeah, this is the third time. These pigeons in British Columbia are G's, bro. They're getting in.
They're literally using like messenger pigeons and just dropping off
crystal meth, the real shit, cocaine, whatever you need, man. These pigeons. And the thing is, it feels like the pigeons know the way around the facility, because this pigeon already was inside. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was outside or in the prison yard. The other one was like, I think somewhere in the prison yard that they caught it because he was getting chased and shit.
So I wonder, like, obviously the inmates are not fucking with the pigeons, right? They probably know exactly why they're there.
Yes.
And they're probably in there, they don't want to mess with them, because whoever's there to collect that, gonna want to, you don't want to mess with that person's stash. It's got to be somebody, right? Somebody a little bigger.
It got to be somebody.
If you got flying pigeons coming in with your drugs, you're probably a big deal.
That know the facility, know how to get around.
What are the chances that the guards are in on it?
I'm gonna say about 35%.
That's it? I thought you can go higher than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say about that, because you know what it is. I don't know because the thing is, they're catching them and then they're reporting it. I mean, if they was catching them and not, it's just like, hey, get back through the fence and keep going to, Manuel in cell 3. You know what I'm saying? But they're catching them, so it's crazy, man. It's crazy how smart animals are, and it is crazy how they being used. I'm just trying to see if the pigeons get anything out of there. Extra seeds, extra, benefits to the pigeon family.
Well, I don't know, what system are they working? Is it capitalism? They could be making minimum wage.
The pigeon that they grabbed 2 months ago, that they grabbed him and interrogated him over a hot bowl of oil, saying, hey, if you don't tell us about the other pigeons, we're going to deep fry you with some song.
That's some small drums, though.
Hey, I know they're not that good, but damn it, I wouldn't want to be deep fried.
Well, I think that we might have to start a segment of the show dedicated to wildlife.
Yes,
because we've got pigeons, we got porcupines, we've got I forget what else we talked about, but we've had a bunch on. Oh, we even have woolly mammoth the return of the woolly mammoth.
That story, not to, kind of chop up the pigeon story, but if y'all want to just fill me a little bit in, that sounded kind of crazy. Some Ice Age type shit.
Yeah. Well, they're bringing back, they did. So they took a chunk of the DNA from the extinct woolly mammoth, combined it with other animals like elephant, a few others to fill in the gaps that they were missing.
Right.
And they recreated what was essentially a big meatball.
What?
And they didn't do it made out of the same DNA with the woolly mammoth DNA. And they didn't do it supposedly to make it edible that time. They just wanted to see if they could recreate it. But it looked like, you ever see Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yeah.
The burger, the
Word.
meat wad. It looked like meat wad, basically.
Wow. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. So back to, we may have to do we got to do
Wildlife.
a TFP
Wildlife.
for how much we cover animals on this damn show.
And see what other
we had
animals?
the wild roosters.
Oh, the wild roosters was out there in India, fighting and killing people with their knives attached to their legs, running into the crowd, cutting motherfuckers up, killed 2 motherfuckers out there in Bangladesh, wilding out.
So let's see, on out of the stories we've had so far, we've got the roosters, we got the pigeon, we got the evil porcupine, beaver, but what animal you think is the smartest?
On my what's that called on Instagram, when you just kind of click on the same thing and it kind of keeps coming out? Mm-hmm. Alligators, crocodiles are fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, they look just scary as fuck, but alligators are super smart, super patient, and when they attack, they fucking attack on point, bro. So more alligator crocodile news hopefully coming soon, man. But that's another motherfucker that I'm completely
But back to the other, who you think? You think the pigeons? From my
Eagles
brain's
too.
I always thought pigeons were considered like dumb animals, small brain, but they're flying in and out of drugs, navigating the streets, navigating the jail.
Right, but then I think about it like this: in New York City, tons of pigeons. They make it through like each weather change when it gets cold as fuck. They have ways.
Well, they migrate south.
You know what I'm saying? Do they? Because I see pigeons
chilling out with the bums,
chilling out in the motherfucking train station, having a little nest on top of the whatever it is, just chilling, man. So
yeah,
pigeons know their ways, man. Pigeons know what the fuck going on.
Wow.
If anything happens, I'm gonna follow the pigeons. I'm not gonna follow another human being.
Shout out to all the wildlife, but especially the pigeons.
Pigeons.
And what do you do to stop pigeons from bringing drugs into a facility?
You're gonna have to make one as an example. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to get the main pigeon, the one that got actually caught with the drugs, and let them know and sit them down on some like interrogation shit. Let them know, hey, next time,
waterboard them,
catch him, have a bunch of sazon packages on the motherfucking table. Let them know, hey, next time we're gonna cook you up with this shit. You can be able to come back.
You turn into some arroz con pollo.
Yes, they're gonna put them on
arroz
the plate.
con pigeon.
Exactly, arroz con pigeon in jail.
All right, man. Listen, shout out to Wildlife Stories. I love them all.
Bow.
So I mentioned earlier, I wanted to let's see if I found my damn story. Here it is.
Yes, sir.
So I came across this story, and it's another one of those where I was like, I got to talk about this. This is really wild.
Word.
This is about a new study that just happened, and rather than fumble it all up with my nonsense, I'm going to read this. This is out of Stat News, okay? Stat News, my brother highly recommends this. But here goes the story. There was a study published on Friday in JAMA's Open Network. That's the Journal of American Medical Association. And it's the first to link a higher prevalence of black doctors to longer life expectancy and lower mortality in black populations.
Okay.
So other studies have been done in this area, but not specifically looking at life expectancy, which is one of the things that jumped out that jumped out at me. So the new study found that black residents in counties with more black physicians, whether or not they actually see those doctors, had lower mortality from all causes, and showed that these counties had lower disparities in mortality rates between black and white residents. The findings of longer life expectancy persisted even in counties with one single black physician.
Whoa.
So they're finding that in a black community, if you have a single black physician,
Word.
you're increasing the life expectancy of that community as well as the other people in that community. So really, really wild stuff here. But let me go a little more into this. That a single black physician in a county can have an impact on an entire population's mortality is stunningly overwhelming, said Monica Peak, a primary care physician and health equity researcher at U Chicago Medicine. She wrote an editorial accompanying the new study. It validates what people in health equity have been saying about all the ways black physicians are important. But to see the impact on population level is astonishing.
Word.
So this really blew them away when they did the study. I'm just trying to dig out here. There was something else in here that I wanted to just see.
Need more black doctors.
Yeah, so that was the thing, is like some of the statements that were made was, number one, was that people in the community, having a black doctor to go to from the black community, they felt more comfortable. They felt like they were being treated more respectfully. The doctor was listening to them more.
Right.
And they just got better service and also better preventive service, preventive medicine. So the overall impact trickles down to the whole community. And you could see right there in the statement, it was even impacting people who did not go see that doctor. Just having the availability of that health care available to these communities dramatically increases mortality and also increases life expectancy, closing the gap, because there's a significant gap between white people's life expectancy and black. Open up some black clinics in the area and that gap begins to shrink. It's just nuts. Man. Think about it.
Yeah, I think having a doctor that looks like you, probably has been to the same situation as you, as far as, health wise, it feels good and makes you feel more, kind of comfortable in a situation, because like, just my own experience, me myself, because I go to the doctor. I have, thank God I have good health insurance, and me personally, I feel like some of the issues, health wise that I've had could have been preventative, but I think they've come across some issues within myself, nothing crazy, but that they're like, okay, we can give you this type of prescription that's going to kind of keep you going, but it's going to, in a couple months, you will be coming back to us, kind of like a non-preventative, just kind of like,
they're putting a Band-Aid on the wound.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Just keeping it alive.
Just because, like, he got good health insurance, let's keep bringing him back, because every time he steps into his office, his insurance pays us $300.
Yeah, preventive care is a huge thing, and
you feel me?
In this country, it's just not something that's focused on.
Word.
In this country, you go to the doctor when you're sick, and they treat the problem, and it's not really a cure for the problem most of the time.
Right.
Unlike where other places where they're focused on preventive care and doing things throughout your life, that are going to help prevent you from getting sick, prevent you from getting diseases.
Right. Right on.
Plus, going into this will be for the next episode, but I think also a lot of that, I've been looking into this story, which I want to present soon, which is just based on the food. And I think a lot of our health issues here can be tied to our food and water supply.
Right on.
And, I'm going to come back with a story about that. I was talking with Remy about that. We have two different angles at the same story about the food and water issue. But, the fact is that I saw a dude talking about how he's a health nut. And when he's here, he's always eating, everything healthy food, watching his diet, exercise, workout, all that. Took a vacation in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there for a while, and he said he basically ate like shit the whole time he was there, eating and drinking whatever he wanted, just going to town. And one thing stood out to him: he felt amazing. He just felt fantastic the whole time he was there, and he was eating like shit. Then he came back here, got back onto his health kick diet, and he felt the difference. Just wasn't there.
Wasn't the same. Okay.
We want to come. I'm going to cover a little bit about that because I started to take a little bit of a look into that, and some of the things about how we treat our water here, some of the things that are okayed in our food. We're going to talk about all that because there's a lot of stuff that we consume here in the U.S. that is just banned everywhere else in the world.
Right.
So it's like, why the hell are they letting us
Yo, I could
that?
testify to that because, a couple years back, I used to live in Holland for a while. And the dairy, cheese, milk, etc. out there is completely different when you come here.
Yeah.
Like the shit that they use here compared to that, you can even taste the difference. It's kind of like I had to adjust to American cheese compared to their cheese, to their milk. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying?
It's a common thread.
Man.
In that storyline, we're gonna definitely go back to that.
So shit ain't gluten free out here.
But I do think I kind of veered off into that rant there. But that I do think ties back into preventive care and why we don't have the best outcomes over here in the U.S.
Give us bad food, you go to the doctor.
But it's
money.
crazy enough that we already have a shit healthcare system in this country that underserves so many people. But then our food supply is fucking trash as well.
Word. Hell yeah.
Water's terrible. And God forbid you live like near a whole bunch of areas, places in Jersey that are even terrible with the water.
Right on.
Actually, we have water advisories around here, and this is like a big city compared to.
Yeah, for sure. Lodi too, man. Shout out to my Lodanians, man. But we always got some type of fucking water problem there that I get updates all the time, man. To turn my shit off, wait. There's this motherfucking leakage here. There's shit there. There's homosexuals peeing in the water. There's a bunch of shit going on, man. So,
Johnny,
we're gonna be all right, though. We're gonna be all right.
You're gonna get banned.
Now we gotta get
canceled.
Gotta get these views up, man. Have people
go controversial.
Get them inaccurate information. That's what they want.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the dude who was upset with our inaccurate information.
Yeah, you be all right, man.
Yeah, what was so funny was that that clip was you kind of jokingly, lightheartedly telling the story. That dude was mad. He was like, "That's inaccurate. That's not right." But there's been a lot of comments coming in on different posts, and they're usually real specific. So if you posted, we saw it. I try to. If I don't write back, I definitely like the post.
For sure.
But shout out to those dudes. But yeah, it's been interesting.
For sure, man. Shout out.
But anyway, listen, let's just rock for a minute because we've been going through we've gone through the wave of Anchor,
Right on. Shout out to Anchor.
The audio. We talked a little bit about the switch to video. Now we've did the video thing for 3 months now. And it's been cool as hell.
Yeah, it's been rocking.
I don't always like seeing my ugly mug on video, but I just deal with it.
I like it, man. People want to see some sex, and I think we bring a little bit of sexual.
You like it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? It's local celebrity shit. We've been doing back in the days. We were doing YouTube videos, try to get this shit popping. I'm mad that the social media wasn't as legit in the early 2000s as it is now. We could have used it because we had that kind of cojones behind us, really trying to make it work, making music videos. I used to blog shit, when we used to go out, a lot of crazy shit that like throwback jhanboom shit. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, right. If YouTube,
shallow waters,
and social media was popping when we were spending just weeks at a time in a basement, just making music and doing crazy shit, we probably would have had the most blown up, crazy YouTube page, although we probably would have all been canceled by now as well.
But with the changes. But it's good, man. I like it. You know what I'm saying? People want to be all up in your face. They want to be all up in your business, and this is what we provided.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to people tuning in. if you do end up watching this and you stick around this far, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like a video.
Pow.
We're happy to take hate comments too. Those actually make me happy.
I do. I need more hate. Hate is bigger than love, but love
shines through.
Love shines through.
What else? Oh, this is what I wanted to say.
For sure.
First of all, we record this today is the 22nd. By the time I drop, it's gonna be next week. So this info, I've started to notice that when we're dropping, because we talk about fights a lot, and then by the time we post the video, that fight already happened. We made predictions. So, but anyway, just to put it out there, tonight is Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis.
Big fight.
It's going down.
A lot of heat.
Tank versus the King.
The King.
And I don't know how to feel about this one. I think these are two of the best guys right now.
Yeah.
I do think Ryan's got that height and that reach.
And the quickness. I don't know. Ryan Garcia, he's fast as shit. I know Gervonta Davis as well, but I feel like my man got a little bit more speed, and that left hook that he throws is dangerous.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely got the speed. But Tank, there's something about that counter and that accuracy.
He's a beast.
Yeah, man, he's just a beast. Should be a good fight.
Yeah.
Shout out to those dudes getting it in tonight.
Wow. Ryan Garcia, I'm going my land people, man. You feel me? I like the Tank, but I'm going Latino on this one, man.
There you go.
You know, no racist shit. I love everybody, but Latinos for life.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What else? You got anything else you want to?
I think we pretty tight. Unless you want to grab someone else's ass in a little more.
I was debating. We're not going to do any more ass grabbing on this episode. We had enough of that.
And real quick shout out to our boy Dark Magic, big ass Rans Akio out there expanding the business from flamingos to big fat restaurant or something like that. You know, shout out to you, man. You know, take this shit and give us 20% off next time we in that motherfucker. All right, for sure.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Akil. Good luck with the new pizza shop that's going.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it pops off.
Hopefully it pops off. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna be stumbling out of flamingos and then you go into the pizza shop for the late night?
Exactly. Get some wings right after or in between. I think they're trying to do a little Asian massage next to it as well. So please, I like a little bit of everything: wings, ass, and pizza.
There you go.
And massages.
That's the way to go. That deserves one of these. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
You know,
we'll be back probably next week. Remise will be on the next episode.
Whole game.
This is episode 85.
Pow.
Well, I think that's it. You good?
We good.
All right.
Holla.
Peace.
Listening to TFP, the fan's perspective.